students, I am Ishan Trivedi. Welcome you in the video lecture series. Today I am going to teach you design calculation for the residential building. In this session, I am going to teach you all-in-one example which shows you design calculation of any residential building. So first of all, let us discuss which type of example is been given to you as a problem statement. First is when all the datas are given to you. Here the plot number is given, northern direction, the front side road, adjacent properties is been given to you, and client has the requirement to build a residential unit at ground floor, and at first floor he wants only staircase cabin. At the same time, he has few requirements. For example, drawing room, consulting room with the attached toilet bathroom, access from inside and outside, then common access for staircase inside, then kitchen cum dining room, then attached storeroom, veranda, wide circulation path. So these are the client's requirement that you have to met up. At the same time, the built up area, plot area, floor space index, permissible built up area at ground floor is also given. So the number of requirements from client side, then few technical requirement as per building bylaws, north direction, plot size, then trial grouping, design steps has been asked to you. So what are these design steps that you have to understand? Here the design means the calculation of plot, area allocation, trial grouping of each and every component, where you are going to put the elements in an association with another room or another building unit, and thus ultimately you have to make a layout plan, and from that you have to make the plan elevation and sectional elevation. So remember this problem statement. Based on this statement and covering the other cases, I am going to teach you all in one example, but the problem statement is this one. So remember this statement and read it in a proper manner, and remember each and every key point. By this I am going to teach you, but furthermore let me discuss the other cases as well. Second is, there are some requirements that you have to draw drawing room, kitchen, bedroom, number of bedrooms with attached toilets, separate toilets, with the residential built up area. Plot area is in terms of meter square, 300 meter square, 400 meter square, but it is not given in the form of length and width dimension, means 20 by 25 meter square or 14 by 20, 14 by 19 meter square area. So here the dimension of plot in terms of length and width is not given to you. Few requirements: permissible built up area, plinth height, certain things are given to you, and the requirements, nothing more. Even FSI is not given to you, and telling you the design a residential unit. Next, you have given only family size and plot area in terms of length and width. So read the statement here. You will see the plot area 15 by 18 meters square, and you have given the family size. Here the family size is 4, but in which category? A couple and 2 children, or 2 couple. So it can be anything. You have to assume everything and design a ground floor and plan it. Here the only thing is given is that mention the north and other necessary data which are assumed for planning. So this is also a point of consideration. Next is, when the no data given, just design only family size or few requirements. Draw a kitchen, then drawing room cum dining, bedroom, storeroom, and scale is been given. So nothing is given to you. So which one is the easiest example for designing a residential unit? Among all these four cases, the fourth case is the simplest one, because you can design of your dimension, of your practice, you can plot it accordingly, and you can modify the position based on the north direction. Nothing is given to you. You have to assume by your own. So the fourth is when the data is not given and it is assumed by the student, and it is up to you that what you want to draw, then it is one of the simplest example. So you have to be prepared for number of data is been given, number of requirement is been given to you, then requirements and plot areas, then family size is been given to you, and plot area in terms of length and width of a plot. Then nothing is given, then you have to design it accordingly. So by taking the all data given statement, I am going to teach you how to design a residential unit. So first of all, if the data is given, I will take it accordingly. If not given, then what you are going to do? So I have formulated the data and its design steps so that you can easily understand. When the same example, if you want to write in the case of no data given, you can write it in a that manner too. So this one is all in one, which suits all kind of cases, and you can easily manipulate with the numbers and the figures and design a residential unit. So first design calculation is plot area calculation. If plot area is given in terms of length and width, you have to just calculate, multiply it and put the answer. But what if the plot area is not given? Then in this case 4 will be applied. So I have to assume the plot area. So now if the plot area given in terms of meter square, something meter square, that is case number 2. If this one is not available, then it is case number 4. If I am assuming, then case number 4 and case number 2 will go parallel. But what about the dimension? So I am going to assume any one dimension. Here I have assumed the width, and that width is 20 meter. Now how will you assume that width? Even I don't know this. See, you can simply take a square root of plot area. In that, go to the nearest value. For example, here the nearest square root value is 22, 21, 20 and so on. If I multiply 22 with 23 or 22.5, I will get the 500 meter square answer. If I multiply it 22 with 21, I'll go to nearer to that value, but not the exactly one. So ultimately what I'm going to do, I'm going to reduce the one side dimension. That can be width or length, it can be anything. Here the width is 20 meter and the area is length into width. I know the area, that is 500 meter square. I put the value and I'll get the another dimension, that is the length, that is 25 meter. If this already been given, like case 3, if you have that plot area in terms of length and width, then case 3, here from here the case 3 will start. If no data given, then case 4. If data given but in terms of meter square area, then case 2. If the data is given in terms of L by B, then case 3. If it is already been given, case 1, 25 by 20. So I have taken in that way. But whenever you are assuming certain things and if it is not given, you have to do a check, and that is Ruminous check, length to width ratio. It should not be that rectangular, too much length wise rectangle or the square. So I am checking this and length to width ratio, that is 25 by 20, and I am getting 1.25 value, and which lies between 1.2 to 1.5, hence I can take this dimension. Next, so I'm finalize that plot area, that is length is equal to 25 meter and the width is 20 meter. Now I have to calculate the maximum permissible built up area. So our second step is calculation of maximum permissible built up area. So again you have to assume, if not given then assume it, and for that you have to assume the FSI. If plot area is more than 400 meters square, assume FSI 1.1. If it is less than 400 meters square, assume FSI 1.2. If not given, I'll assume. Then next is permissible built up area. Again, if not given, then assume. Here I am taking 40% of total plot area. So at ground floor, I am going to construct 40% of total plot area, and the rest of the space I will keep it open. If the area is again less than 400 meters square, you can assume this 50%. If it is again more less than 250 meters square, you can go it up to 65% of total plot area. Again I am repeating, if the area is less than 400 meters square, you can assume 50% of total plot area. If area is less than 250 meters square, or you can say 280 meters square, you can take it up to 65%. Now, so how would I calculate the maximum permissible built up area? So first you have to understand the definition of FSI. What FSI tells you? FSI means the total built up area of all the floors upon plot area. Now what is given to you? You have the FSI value, you have the plot area value, but what you do not have? You do not have the total built up area of all the floors. So you have to calculate that. So total built up area of all the floor is equal to FSI into plot area. I put the values, that is FSI 1.1 into plot area 500 meters square. So total answer is 550 meters square. This means if I construct 2-story, 3-story, any story building, but the area should not exceed 550 meters square. Here, if I consider the case 1, where client wishes that he wants only ground floor and first floor for the cabin, or you can say staircase cabin only, and that's why the area of total you have to calculate, but it should not be more than 550 meters square. Now second is you have to calculate the maximum permissible built up area at ground floor. At ground floor, how much you can construct? You can construct that up to 40% of total plot area, and if I calculate 40 divided by 100, that is in percentage, into what is the total plot area, it is again 500 meters square. So total at ground floor I can construct 200 meters square area. Remember this figure, at ground floor out of 500 meter square plot I can construct only 200 meter square area, and rest of the 300 meters square area I will kept it open. So now permissible built up area as per margin rule of building bylaws. What are the margin rules? We have three types of margin, that is front margin, two side margin, and back side rear margin. If the bungalow is detached, if a building is semi-detached, then you have one side open space, and that is you have to put into consideration. So what it tells you, when initially I take the front, rear and side margin as per suitable criteria, for front margin, if I am assuming that the road, fronting road is of 7.5 meter to 18 meter, then the front margin is 3 meter. And for rear open space, in no case you have to adopt the 3 meter rear open space, and that is average width. For detached type of building, you have to keep 3 meter wide open space at both the sides. So considering this, if I plot a drawing or a simple layout putting a road of 7.5 to 18 meter and putting the plot considering the north position, then if I put 3 meter either side for length and width opening, then the dimension will be, for width I will deduct 3 meter from 20 meter and I will get 14 meter, and for length I will get 25 minus 3 I will get 19 meter. Then total built up area at ground floor, small length into small b is equal to 14 into 19. I will get 266 meter square area. But it is more than 200 meter square, which is my permissible built up area at ground floor, and hence this margin is not suitable. So what should I adopt for, and which are the dimension I have to adopt which is less than 200 meter square and which satisfy the margin criteria as well. So you have to take the combination of dimension in such a way their multiplication should not be more than 200 meter square area, and you have to finalize the suitable dimension. For example, the combination of two dimension length to width can be 190, 192, 194, 196, 198, 195 and so on, which is less than 200 meter square. You cannot take exactly 200 because you have the permission of 200 meter square. See, sometimes when you do such things in a real practice, it is advisable that you must keep this thing less than the permissible limit. Otherwise, sometimes if you miss out the calculation of any projection or any door or window opening or any staircase or ventilation duct, anything you miss out, and sometimes you won't get the permission, or sometimes the things can be collapsed by the town planning authority. So better to keep it less than 200 meter square. And why I am taking the multiplication in terms of this even number, or which can be multiplied easily with 5, so you will get the exact number. For example, 10 by 12, for example 10 by 14, 12 by 18, 12 by 16, 16 by 20, it can be anything. So you have that exact number. See, you can put 16.3 by 12.2, 18.3 by 20.5. Call is yours, you can do, but make sure you have to draw the figure in a lesser time. So it is advisable to keep the dimension which can be easily drawn, easily traceable in your ruler scale. Sometimes students may find the dimension of like 14.275. Can you trace this on in a roller scale or any scale and plot it in your drawing sheet? It can't. So find out those numbers which can be easily drawn, and do not go with two more than one decimal. Clear? 16.2 is okay, but do not go with 16.24, 16.28. See, you cannot measure 16.28 in your ruler scale or simple scale. So it is quite difficult to draw. Yes, in AutoCAD or in real practice, you can go with that because ultimately you are dealing with inches and foot. So this can be acceptable. So right now you have to perform it simple and easy manner. So if I calculate the 192 meter square area and divide with trial permutation and combination, I can get one combination that is 12 meter by 16 meter. The length is 16 meter and the width is 12 meter. If I calculate the total built up area at ground floor L into B, then 16 into 12, I will get the answer 192 meter square, which is less than 200 meter square, and hence I can adopt this dimension. So if I adopt, then what about my margin? So I have to revise all those calculations. If I put the same thing, plot and put 12 meter dimension of a unit by width and calculate it, then I will get 20 minus 12, I am getting 8 meter open space width. So I have divided into two parts. 8 by 2 I have done it. So either side I can plot 4 meter. Sir, why did you adopt 4 either side? You can take 3.5, call is yours. You can take 3.5 and 4.5, again call is yours. But again what you have to do is you have to make this calculation and drawing in a very lesser time. So in a easy way I can just divide it so that I can get the easiest number. So I'll just keep this open space, 4 meter either side. Similarly, if I calculate its length, then I will deduct the 16 from 25. And what I get? I get 25 minus 16, I get 9. Again I have divided and I get the 4.5 either side. So I can put it and I'll get the dimension of a residential unit. See, 25 and 20 meter is the dimension of plot. Inside that I have to keep the margin and design the final plot from where I am going to construct a building within that dimension. So this you have to understand. So my final dimension is 12 meter and 16 meter. So here I have done the rewind margin. Now calculation of staircase. If I provide a staircase inside the building, you have to calculate the number of trade and riser. For that, you have to assume certain things regarding staircase. For example, what is the floor height? So first is floor height. I am assuming that the floor height is 3 meter. The riser is 0.15 meter. Trade is 0.25 meter. The width of one step is 1 meter. The landing area at the beginning and approaching towards staircase, whether it is from upper floor or at ground floor, and the turning, that part is landing area. So whenever I am changing the direction, that is also landing area. That space is 1 meter. You have to keep the approaching way empty or open. You cannot put any memento, any furniture while you are approaching towards a staircase, and that part is called landing area and you have to keep it open. Basically you have to assume these things before design a staircase. So I have highlighted that these things: 1 meter width of landing area at the turning, 1 meter width while you are approaching from both upper and lower part, 1 meter width of staircase, and 0.1 meter is given to handrail. So if I calculate the number of riser, see, one riser height is 0.15 meter, and what is the floor height? That is 3 meter. So number of riser is equal to floor height divided by riser. So 3 divided by 0.15, I will get 20 number of steps. So if I put a 20 steps, I will be at first floor. The number of riser is 20. Now you have to calculate the trade. Here, whenever you approach towards a upper floor, the last step, or you can say last trade, is going to merge with the upper slab, and that's why if you count the step, it will be lesser in number. But risers are there, but steps are lesser in number, and that is number of trade is equal to number of riser minus 1. Why minus 1? Because the upper step is going to merge first floor slab, and that's why I am putting that minus 1. So number of riser is 20 minus 1. I am getting number of trade 19 in numbers. So in first flight, you have to assume that I am going to provide 10 steps, then landing area, and now I am going to turn and change my direction. And at the second flight, I am going to provide 9 steps. You can see here, one step is highlighted with dotted line. This one, because at upper slab, this step is going to merge, and for that repetition, I have to keep it dotted line. So this is the calculation of number of riser and trade. Now what about staircase cabin? So for staircase cabin, assume that all the side you have a thickness of 0.3 meter wall. If I include that, then the length of cabin is 4.5 plus 0.3 plus 0.3. Now, where is this 4.5 came from? At first flight, I'm going to provide 10 steps. In that, 0.25 meter is of one tread. If I'm going to provide a 10 steps, then for that the width is 0.25. So total summation is 2.5 and either side 1 meter for landing area. So total is 4.5. And whenever you are going to approach at upper story, you have to provide a wall. It can be partition wall of 0.1 meter wall, but here I have assumed that upper side wall is 0.3 meter wall, so that you can easily calculate it. You can take it 0.1, no worries, you can take it, but you have to mention it whatever you are going to calculate and put on that particular place. So I have calculated 0.3 at the either side of its length. So I have calculated 5.1 meter. Next, width of cabin, that is 2.1 meter. How it has come? 1 meter width of each side, then it is here 1 meter and this one is also 1 meter, and 0.1 is for handrail, and total it is 2.1 meter, and I am taking 0.3 meter wall at the both the end, then total is 2.7 meter. Next, so if I calculate the total built up area at first floor, particularly cabin, which is equal to 2.7 into 5.1, which gives me 13.77 meter square area. If I calculate total built up area, that is of ground floor and first floor, which gives me the value of 192 plus 13.77 meter square area, and total summation is 205.77 meter square area, which is less than 550 meter square, because total I have the permission of 550 meter square, but I am constructing 205.77 meter square only. Hence, I am within the limit and I am safe. So this is what the design calculation of a residential unit. And here I have calculated the staircase design, margin and total built up area. If you have given a question which starts with draw a first floor plan, in that case you have to just write down certain assumption, but minimum you have to calculate the total built up area and FSI calculation in your answer sheet. Minimum you have to assume certain things like floor area, trade, riser. At the same time you have to assume FSI, permissible built up area. If it is given, then take it and calculate it, but few calculation has to be made by you. It is compulsory and you have to show it and you have to write it in your answer sheet, and based on that you have to calculate. You have to show the dimension of the building area, so one can understand what is your dimension and what you are going to draw in your drawing sheet. After this calculation, you have to plot a residential unit having its width 12 meter and length 16 meter. So I am ending this session. I hope you have learned this design calculation. Thanks for watching this video.